Hi guys. Okay, so I haven't been live in months and they changed the setup a little bit. So I actually had to go over here. So let me know. Sorry for the delay, but here we are. So today we are going to be doing, let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay. I have a microphone, but my neighbors upstairs are listening to TV, I believe. So let me know if you can hear me okay. But what we're going to be doing today is a ritual, if you will, practice in tribute of Quawan Charles. I just kind of got shakes saying his name because it's very sore for me still. I woke up this morning and I saw that my half sister posted a picture of, that was how I was introduced to his story. And if you're watching this, you're probably aware of his story and basically the tragedy that is. So Quan was known by Bobby, by his family, and was 15 years old. And basically, from his mother's story, he went out with one of his friends that was 17, and that friend's mother picked them up and didn't tell his mother that, she didn't know this was happening. 30th, and Baldwin in Louisiana found his body on November 2nd at 5 p.m. So there's some issues, of course, naturally. They didn't take his case very seriously, the police department. His mother contacted them and wanted an Amber Alert, and they wouldn't put one out. And they didn't really look for him until they found him completely beaten up. And it looks to be a lynching. They even told the parents the full story, like where he was found or anything. So they really want to know more details. They started to go autopsy, and they did receive the money they were looking for and then some. So I'm happy to hear that. And you can just Google GoFundMe if you want to financially support them. Jacko and Roxanne Nelson. And so the police contacted Kenneth, the father, and then waited a whole day until they contacted the mother. There's just so many issues, and there often is with cases of Black children going missing or showing up deceased. So that is kind of the background of his story, and I encourage all of you to do more research. I still haven't done all of my research. I plan on signing petitions I find tomorrow. I just am still very much in the processing stage, which is why we're doing this activity tonight. So, I heard about his passing, his lynching this morning, and it's still very fresh and raw, and I basically just process my emotions best via artwork. So tonight, we're going to be doing kind of a little, the aim is for it to be an hour long. It'll probably end closer to 10:30. Hi, I miss your face too, the yoga preacher. Check out her YouTube. She does really awesome readings or pullings, however it's said. So what we're going to be doing tonight is a therapeutic art exercise. Before we do that, we are going to get started with a guided meditation. So what you should have in front of you, before we even start the guided meditation, let's just get all of the supplies that you'll need for the next hour and 15 minutes. Oh, thank you. This shirt is from my best friend, Erin. She gave it to me for my birthday a couple years ago, and it just felt right to wear it today. In the live chat, if you are on a computer, it'll come up on the right. Sometimes you have to click up on the live chat, or if you're on your phone, it'll be at the bottom. And just feel free to comment on the video if you can't figure out the live chat. But let's go over the materials that we will be using. So You don't need to be an artist to do therapeutic art exercises. Certainly don't. A little background, I actually went to college, got a bachelor's degree in art therapy, and I have over a year of experience facilitating art therapy groups. And that was actually my favorite part of my job. I worked in an eating disorder residential unit as a mental health counselor, and I worked as a mental health counselor at a psychiatric hospital. And at both those jobs, one of the driving forces and favorite things I liked to do was to facilitate art therapy groups. I think it's super important that therapeutic art practices are brought into everyone's life because it really helps to like meditate us, not meditate, but just like basically like art meditation is super helpful. So whether you are like doing art meditation practices, therapeutic art practices, just art in general, always try to find a way to express yourself, and it doesn't have to be visual. You could do it with words as poetry. I felt inspired to write a poem today, didn't get to it, might do that later. So I digress. We are going to make sure we have everything we need in front of us before we do the meditations. Then once we're like done with that, there's no like running around the room to grab stuff. So you're gonna want colorful art supplies or writing utensils. Basically, the only thing is that it has to be colorful. If you only have pencils, see if you can find some colorful pens. So I have some permanent markers. These are like some pen markers. They're like very fine tipped, colorful markers. I have like a few pens in here. Oops. I have colored pencils. And basically the only requirement is that whatever you're using as your medium is not wet. So don't use watercolor paint, don't use any paint. Just try to do colorful things that can just like fit in your hand and dry quick. So I also have some other colorful markers, some art, portrait toned markers. I just put everything around me because I don't want to have to get up, and it's best to just have all options around. I also have some colorful crayons. So yeah, you're gonna want any variation of colorful utensils. Let me know in the chat who is watching. It says that we have 5 people. I'm just curious. And so you're also going to want some paper. So you could do some white paper, or you can do some colorful paper. You could do black paper, but you would need like some like really like neon-y gel pens to show up on that. Hey, okay, so does everyone have their materials in front of them? So you need a few pieces of paper. Then you're also going to want like, so you're going to want one piece of paper that we're going to be using for an art exercise, but you're also just going to want either a journal or just like a small piece of paper that you can write things on, because we're going to be documenting a few things as well when we get to it. So don't get intimidated. This isn't like a intimidating exercise. This is very approachable, and you know, you guys can only see me, so it's not like anyone else is watching you. Just do your thing. Okay, so let's see. Hey Annika, you guys ready to roll? Okay, so now that we have all of our supplies in front of us, let me just adjust the camera. So now that we have all of our supplies in front of us, just make sure that you're in kind of like somewhere that you feel comfortable and safe. So whether that be a different part of your room, sometimes people don't like to sit with like the door behind them, or if the lighting's off, just make sure that you're like completely comfortable in whichever seat, place, setting, wherever you're at, just make sure you're comfortable. So we're going to be doing a meditation. So Quawan Bobby Charles, he was 15 years old when this all took place about a week ago. So what we're going to be doing is a 15-minute meditation to start with. I'm going to set a timer on my phone for exactly 15 minutes. And we're doing 15 minutes because that's how old he was when he was murdered. So we're doing like each minute to acknowledge each year that he graced our earth, even though it was far, far too soon. We just want to celebrate the life that he did have and the presence that he made during that life. So we're going to be doing a 15-minute guided meditation. Just make sure you're ready. You know, I'm going to actually dim this light really quick. So if you want to dim your light where you're seated, Go for it. Okay. So before we begin, just take a deep breath in through your nose. Sigh it out through your mouth. And again, I apologize if you hear any noise coming in from upstairs. Just take a few deep breaths and really start to focus that energy. The thoughts that you should be kind of centering around during this meditation. I know some people do meditations trying to completely clear all thoughts, but this is kind of a warm-up. So what we're going to start to think about is do like a check, an emotional check. Where are you at? Start to put words in your mind into the emotions you're feeling. Don't write them down. Just as you're meditating, just really try to recognize all of the emotions that you feel and everything that you feel basically towards what has happened, the murder, the lynching, the brutal beating of Quawan Charles. So just really try to really focus your thoughts, energy, everything into exactly every single emotion you feel, because I know it's not just one. I know there's going to be a swarm of different emotions. And with that, I'm actually going to mute my microphone so that no traffic goes into your area, no noise, and we'll get started. So 15 minutes, just meditating and really checking in with how we feel about everything going on. All of the Black Deaths, but especially Quawan, Bobby Charles. All right, here we go, guys. that was 15 minutes. All right, so for those of you that have just tuned in, we just did 15-minute meditation as we pondered or tried to recognize, put a word to all of the emotions that we feel while we mourn Quawan Charles. So to all of you that were doing that, and to those of you that just joined, if you could, in the live chat, just comment, just say the words of some emotions that you recognize during your meditation. So please just continue to keep sending any words that described the emotions, any that you recognized. When I was meditating, at first I felt a little bit distracted. I think that usually happens at the beginning of most meditations. But the emotions that I ended up recognizing throughout were anger, obviously, sadness, basically just feeling heartbroken. And I also got really upset when I started to recognize, I don't know if it's an emotion, more so it's just the adjective of familiarity. This is just all too familiar, and the fact that it's kind of becoming normal for me to go on social media and then see a hashtag of someone who was brutally murdered, a Black child that was brutally murdered, and then seeing that they also received no justice from the police. So just like the fact that that's becoming normal, it'll never be normal, but the fact that that's becoming regular or routine in my life really infuriated me. Then I started thinking about, so yeah, just let me know in the live chat some emotions that you guys are feeling towards all of this. But I started thinking about my little brothers and my little cousins, and just like how much joy they have, and then how much he resembles them, and how much joy he must have had in his life. We did 15 minutes for 15 years, and as like, I don't know, people were texting me. I didn't look at them, but my phone would light up, and I'd get a little glance at how much time is left, and it would be like 7 minutes, and you just start thinking like 7 minutes like left. That's it's like 8 years old. Like, what was I doing at 8 years old? Like, and all different things. And I start thinking about like, how young 15 is, and how much I was like looking forward to, and how much he was probably looking forward to, and what he used to do during his days, and just thinking about those type of things. But emotions I also recognized were just like feeling defeated, feeling upset, feeling just like infuriated, feeling hopeless, even though I don't want to feel that way. It's just the reality. Feeling silenced, basically, by the police, by the government, feeling hunted, feeling targeted. I really want to know what you guys are feeling, what emotions you recognize. So throw some in the live chat, but and let me know that you can hear me, because if I'm talking this whole time and the microphone isn't working, that wouldn't be great. But some other emotions I was feeling that I recognized, that I still feel, just like complete, numbness. That's one word I felt described an emotion, was silence. And I think that you actually targeted it better, Samia. It was numbness that I was trying to recognize. I identified it as silence, but that's a more accurate word. Disgust, Annika, yeah. Horror. It's horrific. I also felt like beaten up, chaos. If you look at the pictures of him after his deceased body, he's just so mangled up, so beaten up, and that's why his parents think it was a lynching. Looks like Emmett. Like, when will this ever end? One of the other words, the emotions, adjectives I felt was restless. But yeah, so now that we've all kind of like hopeless as fuck, yeah, totally, definitely. Now that we've kind of recognized some, and feel free to keep throwing them in, we're gonna begin to get started with the art exercise. I'm gonna turn back on the bright light that I turned off for the meditation. just so you guys can see everything better. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the art supplies that you should have with you as we transition into the therapeutic art part of this. So basically any colorful supplies, whether that be markers, pens, colored pencils, and I do apologize for the noise above. Speechless, I definitely think that is an emotion because that goes with the silence that I felt. Like, you know how I said I recognize feeling silence, like definitely speechless, Josiah. Thank you for sharing. So grab some like markers. I have crayons, really anything colorful that's not wet. So don't do any paints or glitter glues or anything like that. You're also going to want tape and some glue, whether it's this type of glue or glue sticks. You're going to want that. You're going to want like one sheet of art paper. By art paper, that can be anything. It can just be printer paper, but I just mean a paper that you're going to create art on. It's going to be allocated for that. And then another space or sheet of scrap paper, anything, where you can write some words on. So these are going to be like two kind of separate things. So before we even get started, I just want us all to check in basically with ourselves. So after doing that meditation and just as we begin, I want you to take, so like I said, like writing paper, just write down from 1 to 10, like what your mood's at, you know, 10 being like, and you know, I'm not even gonna put 10 as a good mood because no one feels great about this. So 10 being, I can go about my day without crying. So 10 being kind of like productive numbness, but not like just depression numbness, I guess. So 10 being like, all right. Sorry for so many words. 1 to 10. 10's like, I'm okay, I guess. And then 1 would be like, I'm going to spend the rest of my night crying, kind of. So basically just rate wherever your mood is at, and you can send it in the message if you want, or you can just write it down, but definitely write it down, and you can send it in the message if you'd like. So I would say I feel like I'm at a 3.5, which is like part of like why I felt so upset earlier, because it's like I almost feel like this is becoming so regular that I'm like the numbness, like I'm feeling everything less as a result. And then I want you guys to pick the word that best describes you. So out of all those words, how do you feel? Just one word, if you can narrow it down. I'm going to go with restless, because I feel like my body's shaking and I just feel so like restless. So just your number and your word, and write that down on a piece of paper nearby. And I'm just going to reiterate one more time, since there's more people here now, you do not have to be an artist to do this. This is for any and everyone that wants to begin healing through artistic means. So after you've written that down and kind of established your number and your word, either feel free to write that in the messenger board, or just tell me you're ready to go and we can get started. If I just see like 1 or 2 people say they're ready, we can get started. And some people have texted me. I think some of you might be in here. I'm not going to be reading those until the end, sorry. So just let me know. And what we're going to do is I want you to pick out from whatever supplies you do have, colors that you think kind of resemble the emotions, the mood, everything that you feel right now. We are not, you know, flat people, we're multidimensional, so there's probably going to be a lot of colors, but you don't have, you know, think about color theory, but also don't. So color theory is just that there's a lot of different aspects to color theory, but what I'm referring to is that certain colors as a whole resemble certain feelings or emotions that people feel typically. So some people associate the shade blue with sadness, but everything is based off of our experiences. So who knows, you could have had like a blue house that you loved growing up, and blue can mean happiness to you. That's why I'm saying like take it into your own meaning. You know, purple is a color that's often associated with hope and prosperity. You know, yellow is usually associated with like happiness and optimism. There's all different colors that kind of associate with different things, but it's all about you and yourself right now. So just start to begin to look at your color selection and just take out any colors that you think kind of fit what you guys are feeling. So for me, and you don't want, like, think about it a little bit, but don't be like so practical where you're like, blue is sadness. Just do whatever feels right. So I'm picking gray, and this just kind of, it means like numbness to me, but again, just, you don't even have to think about it necessarily. Just pick colors out. And I'm using both markers and colored pencils for mine, and pens, because I'm not doing it based off the medium. I'm doing it based off of the color. So from your whatever range you have, just pick colors that you think replicate how you feel. This replicates how I feel. And once you kind of have those going, either let me know in the messenger, or we'll get started when I have mine. But, let me know if you guys are ready to go. But yeah, you could either pick like 1 or 2 colors, or you could just really pick like 15, 12. So it doesn't have to be a certain number. Just pick whatever feels right. Yeah, all right, I have my colors. So we are going to get going. And you can always change your colors as we go. So the exercise that we're doing, when I used to facilitate art therapy groups, one group I did that I thought was one of the most memorable ones, I kind of, didn't tell everyone the full list of what we're doing. We just kind of do it step by step. So I'm not really going to disclose everything, but we're going to get going. And so Quawan Charles, like I mentioned to you guys, was 15 years old when his mother's calling it abducted. So we're going to go with that. So when he was abducted, he was 15 years old, and he went missing on October 30th, which is 10:30. So we're going to do a full 10 minutes and 30 seconds, because that was the last time that he was in complete peace. We can assume was 10:30, or at least that we know that he was safe was 10:30 earlier that day. So I got 10 minutes and 30 seconds on my stopwatch. You can use one hand, you can use two at the same time, whatever you want to do. Basically, just try to put all of the emotions that are going through your head onto one piece of paper. Don't try to do like a actual figurative work. Don't try to draw like a flower or something. Just do an abstract representation of exactly how you're feeling. Let it out on paper. I'm going to move the camera to my paper as we do this. If you want to play music, feel free to. I'm not going to personally, and we'll get going. So I hope that you guys find this useful, and we'll be doing a lot more after this. Not too much more. We'll probably wrap up around 10:30-ish. So we're going to do 10 minutes and 30 seconds starting now, and go. So just, try to keep your hand moving as much as you can and just do what feels natural. Sometimes that requires some thought. Sometimes it requires no thought at all, just doing what really feels right. And you don't have to worry about the actual finished result. Just think about the process. Think about, what strokes, what movements on paper actually represent as close as you can to how you're feeling internally. And it changes a lot. Just like how as we process and mourn, it's ever changing, 1 second you're really sad and numb, and then you're completely infuriated and you feel everything. And I think that's a big part of it, is kind of going from feeling everything to feeling nothing, and kind of like the cycle of that. And I don't know if you guys can, relate to that, but for me, that's how it kind of is. It's like, days of like nothingness, and then you feel it all heavily. So just let your paper feel it. Put it out. Try at least to let some of it out. There's about 6 minutes left for this part. So just keep going. And do what colors feel right, what movements feel right. It's not about the finished product or making pretty art at all. That's kind of really not where we're at. We're just trying to process and recognize how we feel. And I think that's important, because something that I struggle with is the fact that I feel like there's not a lot of places to feel. Like sometimes we had, what color am I feeling this second? I'm feeling brown. Sometimes we have like these complete amazing spaces where, we can just come together, and they have like people will throw vigils or things like that, and it just feels so nice. But other times there's just really not that option. You have to create that space. So I'm really happy that you guys could join me as I make that space and kind of feel this together. But yeah, I think something that I get mad about kind of, or that just puzzles me, is that, I wake up and I read about this, and then what? I'm supposed to go about my day, just go to work. Like, it's not a reality. It's just, I don't know. I know that they have like mental health days, but I feel like they should have like mourning days for people you don't even know. Just this genocide is just so heavy, and it's just so unexpected. Just, I can't even imagine how Quawan, his family, how unexpected this feels to them. Words can't even describe. It's just, you wake up and there's a new hashtag, and I'm just so tired of seeing Black people just trying to, like, seeing them only represented as hashtags or rappers or NBA players. Like, we are so much more than that. We're so multidimensional and deserving of joy and just uninterrupted happiness. And I don't think many Black people in America ever get to experience that. And if you do, it's like a very fleeting moment, at least, because there's always the anxieties, is that person that's staring at me, are they racist? Are they dangerous? So it's important to, create safe spaces for yourself if you can, or, recognize where you feel genuinely safe. So we have about 3 minutes left. I don't know if you guys are still drawing, coloring, moving colors around. I hope you are. And try to, like I said, ever changing. Try to add some of the last colors that you think represent what this looks like for you, what this loss, all of these losses, but especially this one, looks like inside of your brain. Are you guys using colored pencils or markers or pens? So we have about 2 more minutes, this part of it, just coloring out the emotions in our head. If you haven't already seen a picture of Quawan before he was deceased, I urge you to look it up. He's just such a beautiful gorgeous, bright human being that deserved so much more. You know, it makes you think about what were you thinking about when you were 15? You know, what did you still have to look forward to? Like when you're 15, you have your whole life ahead of you, you know. And I wish that were the case for Quawan, but it's not. And the only thing that he can be going forward is remembered and honored, and that's just such a shame. Just another 52, 51 seconds left. All right, final seconds. So just get ready to conclude. All right, that was exactly 10 minutes and 30 seconds of mostly nonstop coloring. This is what my finished piece looks like. There is no way for it to be held because it's, you know, this. So I just want to, before we move on, I just want to hear from you guys, you know, what is yours? Oh, hiccups. Sorry, guys. What does yours look like? What colors are most prominent? For me, it seems to be a lot of purple, orange, brown, and black that we have going on here. But yeah, I want to know, you know, what colors do you see most, or like shapes, or just like anything that you recognize, where there are a lot of rounded shapes, where there are a lot of harsh shapes, where any realizations you have, just, you know, shoot a message or just think about it yourself. And before we, you know, move on, just take a picture of it on your phone and send that over to me after this concludes, because I would love to see if you're willing to share. Okay, so this is what we have going on here. Just the 8 of you guys that are tuned in, you know, let's let's talk for a second. Thanks, that was helpful. It's a little hard to express, but it feels good. I used ink pens and highlighters. Thank you so much for sharing, Josiah. Yeah, really anything can be used. I just feel like it's better to, what I love about art therapy is that you're putting it into a visual form, or sometimes an audio form if you're a musician, but it's kind of like trying to get some of that pressure out of your mind and shoulders and onto paper. So all of that badness, negativity, like everything that's encapsulated in this picture, you know what we're gonna do? And I would like you guys to do this with me. We're just gonna rip them up. So just start going to town. That's what we're gonna do. So just rip it up and just basically just keep ripping it up as viciously as you would like, or as soft as you would like, but rip it up. Like this, we can't carry this complete weight. We need to transform it into something that is useful, into something that can change our society or perspective. So to transform the pain and sorrow, we have to first decompose it. So just start ripping, and it doesn't matter how many pieces, just enjoy and experience and feel the sensation between your shoulders and your body of just saying, no, I'm not okay with this, and I won't accept this, and I will rip it up and just transform it. Okay, so that took a lot out of me, like energy-wise. I was just, okay. So we have our remains, and what I say we're gonna do, transform it. So we're gonna create this into something that is more useful. We're gonna create all of this, and we're gonna transform this energy into something that could create, dare I say, joy in someone else's life. Black, red, brown, running dark horses emerged. Yes, Julie, thank you for sharing. And Annika said used black pen, deep red, dark purple, mostly fluid drawing. Thank you guys for sharing. So how does it, how does it feel do you guys rip them all up? Just make sure you have them all ripped up. And we're gonna move on to the next part, and then we'll kind of like catch up after about how everything feels. So we have all of our bits, and we're not just gonna leave them. We have to, transform this into something else. We have to find beauty in this. So on a separate sheet of paper, whether it's colored paper or just another sheet of white paper, whichever color just feels right. For me, it feels like that's going to be light blue. So we're going to grab another piece of paper. It doesn't have to be colored paper. And we're going to fold it in half. It doesn't have to be perfect. Art never does. So fold it in half. And we're going to take these shattered bits and create them or transform them into something that actually inspires hope. So think about what images come to your mind when you think of the word hope. Whether it's like a figure, like a symbol, like the hope symbol that we often see, whether it's a flower, a wave, a beach, abstract, really anything that to you feel as hope. I had a little time to think about this as I was getting ready earlier, and I'm going to do a black power fist. So what we're going to do is take these pieces, and on this piece of paper, on one of the flat surfaces, we are going to transform those into whatever hope looks like for you. And like I said, it can be figurative. It can, it can be abstract. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start assembling them into a black power fist, and then I'm going to add Sharpie after to make it more readable as a black power fist. But we're going to, start placing them. And before you glue them down or tape them down, just start placing them so that you can make sure that you like what you're doing. You could do a heart. You could do a dove. You could do, like I said, something that's not figurative. It's really up to you, but the most important part is that you transform this and make something that resembles hope out of this. For me, it's hard because I lose hope often, and exercises like this, like you just have to keep hope, even if it's really impossible some days, but that's what I'm trying to inspire. So this is how my black power fist is going. And let me know in the message board what you guys are choosing to do. Some other ideas for hope could be like a bird, it could be an ocean, it could be a wave, whatever, we only are, everything we are is just based on our past experiences. So whatever hope has meant to you in your life, try to depict that. And don't stress yourself out. This is purely to help you. So don't start like over analyzing this and Googling hope, and just do what feels natural. Do what feels right. So what I'm doing, as you guys can see, is just kind of assembling them. And you can rip them up again if you need it to be a different shape for it to work for your design. But I just find that the actual action of ripping can be pretty just a nice release of energy. So that's why I wanted to do that, and I wanted it to be a surprise for you guys because, I don't know, I just thought it might be more beneficial that way. So let's see, Black Power Fist. Looks like I need to make a few changes. What are you guys doing? What are y'all creating? Julie, are you going with the horses? Are you gonna keep like riding the horses, or no, because you want to transform it, you could transform it into a different horse? I don't know. Just curious what you guys are doing. And thank you all so much for tuning in and joining me tonight. I just realized I didn't say that yet. Thank you. It really means a lot to have other people to kind of process with and to do these activities with. When I used to do them for work, I was still getting a lot out of it. I feel like there is never an art therapy group or a therapeutic art group or just any activity that involves art that I haven't found beneficial. So thank you guys for joining me. So let's see. That looks about right. I could glue them underneath, or I could try to just go on top and just like create a layer. I'm gonna do it underneath because I think it'll work better. This is also kind of the process that I do collages. I'll place it all first so I can make sure I like it, and then after, remove everything and glue it. And actually what I usually do is take a picture of it first in case I forget exactly how it looked, so I have that to reference. What's going on? Hi, Angela. We're doing an art therapy practice. Or therapeutic art practice, my bad. Or perhaps you could interpret it as a meditative art practice, but we're taking paper that we kind of wrote all of our emotions onto and then ripped up and then creating something that resembles hope to us. So I'm doing a Black Power Fist, and you're welcome to join us if you would like, or you can tune in later and do this at your leisure. But that is what we're doing. What are you guys doing? What are you guys making or creating? And I'm probably annoying you guys by asking that so much because I just realized like you're in the middle of creating, you don't want to like type it out, but we'll check in after. So let's see. Let's give this part of it another like, I don't know, 6 minutes or so. And if that doesn't feel like enough, just let me know in the message board. I don't want to rush us at all, but I, try to keep like somewhat of a schedule going. So yeah. We'll touch base in like 6 minutes-ish and see if people need more time. I'm using a glue stick to start forming down my Black Power Fist. And if you did take a picture earlier when I prompted you to, after this activity, if you could just send that to me, I would just really like to see what yours looked like before you ripped them up. I didn't used to do, but I have done a few kind of guided meditative art and writing lives before, like YouTube lives before, after Ahmaud Arbery's passing. So if you're interested in doing more of these or seeing more of these, just let me know. I don't know if people like find it useful or not, but it's great to feel like you're not doing it alone, So if you like find this useful, thumbs up this video and let me know later because, I just want to also be here for y'all and be here for myself because this helps me a lot as well. That's why I'm doing it. I was going to do it either way, so why not, do it with y'all and have a good, have a collective experience. That's the hard part, is that I feel like most of my life I've been mourning Black deaths alone. Like when Trayvon Martin died, I was in ninth grade, and that was kind of the first like big wake up to me. And I stayed up every night for months. Like after my family would go to bed, I would just stay up like 4 hours every night at least, just looking up any footage I could find, anything, because I needed answers. And I couldn't stop looking it up. And for me, it's like I just didn't feel like I had a group that I could like talk to about this, I guess, or like that cared. Didn't feel like this was just like Black deaths were something that was like socially acceptable to bring up, kind of. But now that that conversation has like very much started, and you know, we're gonna say every name that we know of and keep it going, it just feels nice to be able to kind of mourn collectively as opposed to completely alone. So yeah. All right. Let's see. A few more minutes and then we'll touch base, see if you guys need more time or not. I'm trying to get this Black Power fist shape going over here. And like I said, we're not striving for perfection at all. It's all about the process. So yeah, in like 2 minutes, we'll touch base, see if you guys need more time for this part of it, or if you're ready to move on. I'm kind of getting there. I haven't made my embellishments yet. Like I haven't, added anything. We'll do that after. But just getting the gluing part down and kind of creating your new image of what represents, what you represent or see hope as, or however you interpreted that. That's what we're trying to kind of conclude now. And sorry if I'm being repetitive. I just know that people come like kind of in and out, so I don't want people to tune in and think that it's too late to join, even though it's kind of too late to join at this point. Okay. So, not the most accurate Black Power fist I've ever seen, but like I said, not striving for perfection over here. Did anyone else do a Black Power fist? That just seems to be like, in my mind, what I think of when I think of like resistance in terms of the Black community, and that's just where my mind kind of goes to. All right, so the time is now 10:15. Please let me know if you guys need more time for this part, or if you are ready for some more instructions. The goal was kind of to end this around 10:30. I'm still game to do that, but I also don't want to rush through this. Like, I'm in no rush, but I would love some feedback. Are you guys ready to move on? Do you need more time for the gluing process of this? Let me know. This is what I have going on so far. Obviously, it doesn't quite resemble a Black Power fist, but like I said, not really going for perfection here. So yeah, just let me know in the comments. Do you guys need more time for this part of it, or are you ready to move on to the next part? And we're getting to the concluding part. So like I keep saying like the next part, but there's not a lot of parts left. Just a couple more. So once anyone in the message gives me the okay, I will give you guys the next instruction. I just decided to make the arm a little fatter. I thought maybe that would make it look more like a Black Power fist, but I don't think it is. You go ahead. I'm going to be a little bit longer. I'm trying to make mine fire in the gluing part. I totally understand that. Perfect. Thank you for touching base, Josiah. I'm gonna give it like 5 more minutes before I give the next instruction. You know, like I said, we don't need to rush through this at all. So if I'm still gluing, Josiah's still gluing, I imagine more of you guys are still gluing. So, you know, we'll give it about like 5 more minutes-ish. How can I make this look more like a Black Power fist? That should help, yeah. Yeah, kind of getting there. Yeah, I think that will finish off the shape that I'm looking for. All right, that is a set. So just, ooh, dropping glue sticks left and right. So we'll give it about 3 more minutes for the gluing part, and then we will be finishing these off. This is how mine's looking. It's supposed to be a Black Power fist. Yeah, not too bad, yeah. Okay, this is where I'm at. So I'm just gonna give some instructions. I said like 2 more minutes, but just in case anyone's ready, you know, everyone works their own pace. So after you have your shape for what you envision hope as, like I told you guys, mine is a Black Power fist. You can grab whatever supplies you have nearby to add detail. So I'm gonna use, I think, this Sharpie. Actually, I'm going to use a blue Sharpie because I'm going to, you know, blue, this shade of blue at least makes me think of democracy and hope and things of that nature. And just kind of add any details you need to make the object that you made look more like it. So I'm just going to be adding like some exterior lines to my thing, which means I'm going to be looking at my hand like this, which is why it's like this. So, you know, just add whatever feels right to kind of like drive home of what it is that you transformed your emotions into. So like I said, I'm just kind of like adding a line to create said shadow. Yeah, and the permanent marker seems to be going well over the other things that I did. So that's cool. So you might want to use a permanent marker, but whatever shows up on what you created. So this is like the thumb part of mine. And we'll just, we'll give this another 5 minutes. So like I said, work at your own pace. I'm not trying to rush you guys, but I know people, I said this would be kind of an hour long, and I want to make sure everyone gets, you know, the full thing. So we'll give another 5 minutes-ish to kind of add any embellishments to make your symbol of hope better read. And you might not need to. You might want to just keep it completely abstract collage style. And I'm with that too. But yeah, mine definitely did not resemble a Black Power fist until I started adding these embellishments. So that's what I am doing over here. And like I said, we don't strive for perfection. This is for you, not for a gallery. You know what I mean? This is to help you process. Oh man, I definitely made the fingers too thin at the beginning. So this is going to be like a little bit of an interesting looking hand because, yeah. But yeah, this is like to help you. So this is not going in any museum. Don't worry too much, but also I totally understand wanting it to look great because that's kind of just part of process. You know, you're trying to make something beautiful out of something or emotions that are not ideal to be experiencing. Okay, so this is what my black power fist looks like at the current moment. You guys see it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I just understood why. Like, I just understood the context of you putting that black power fist in the chat. Just I didn't even realize it was a reference to what I'm doing, which that's even better. Okay. So this is what I have. The black power fist. I could kind of keep going and add a broader, like a shadow. Do I want to add a thicker outline? Okay. All right. So I think that's all of the marks I'm gonna make for the time being. There we go. So this is my black power fist. And what did you guys make? Cover my glue stick. Don't forget to cover your glue stick because they will dry out. So, okay. I know that some of you guys are still working, but as we kind of like finish up this part of it, this is the stage we're at right now. So what we're gonna do, and I'm actually gonna use glitter. So let me get my glitter. That's what I decided. All right, so what we're gonna do for the next part, and I know that some people are working more abstract and some people are working more with figure. I'm just gonna let you guys see my paper instead of my face. We're going to add a heart. Okay, so let me give a little context. So these that we've been creating, we're gonna treat these as cards. These are gonna be like grieving cards, sorry for your loss cards, sympathy cards. That's what I'm looking for. These are sympathy cards. So we're gonna imagine that we're giving this card, that we're making this card for Kenneth Jacko and or Roxanne Nelson, which are the names of Quawan Charles' parents, his mother and father. So, oh, you're doing a flame for your hope, Josiah. I love that, the passion. Okay, so we're making these grieving cards, which now you guys know these are cards, with the imagination that we're giving these to Quawan's parents. So what I'm asking you to do now, and we're gonna write in the inside of the cards off camera. That's kind of like your homework. After we finish the video part, I'm gonna ask you guys to do a tiny bit of homework to finish it out completely on your own. So these greeting cards, we're gonna send love. We're gonna add love to them. So, you know, Black children, Black people, we don't get enough uninterrupted love. And we need to send hope and love to the parents right now more than ever. So I want everyone to create either a big heart or one heart or many hearts, however many hearts you want. Doesn't really, one heart is enough, but if you want to go to town, put a heart on your card, on the cover of your card. Create a heart. And, if you want to write a message like sorry for your loss or something along those lines, go for it. But what we're going to do now is just everyone, regardless of what you drew, regardless of what you interpreted hope as, we are going to add some love and send some love to Quawan's parents. So for me, I actually decided that I want to do kind of a glued glitter heart. I just really wanted the heart to dazzle. So I'm using the glue and I'm making a heart shape. And that appears to be a heart shape. And I'm just going to add some glitter. Now, I haven't worked with glitter in a while, so this might create a mess. You know what? I'm actually Gonna grab my, no, I'll use this glitter. Okay. So everyone add a heart to your card. Send some love to his family. They need it now more than ever. All right, this is my heart. Recycle this glitter. All right, there we go. I don't know if the camera's picking it up a little too brightly, but that's the heart that I did. And I'm gonna write the message. So you could write like "sorry for your loss," or you know what grieving cards say. It's like they don't make grieving cards for lynchings. So there is no typical greeting card for this situation, but think of some. If you want to add a phrase, you don't have to add a phrase, but I'm trying to think of what phrase I could add if I was, if you were his parents, what phrase seems fitting. I'm gonna write. I'm gonna write "gone but never forgotten." I'm gonna make "never" a different color. So I did "gone" in blue, and then I'm gonna write "gone but never" in red to make it more attention drawing that I truly mean never. Gone but never forgotten. And I'm absolutely the worst with spelling. So I just want to make sure I don't spell forgotten wrong, because I spell a lot of things wrong. Yeah, that's exactly how I expected. It's a pretty straightforward word. All right, gone but never forgotten. Period. All right, so this is what the outside of my card looks like. I know some of you guys are still working, but it is 10:30, and I wanted to give people the option to finish this now. So I'm going to basically, if you're working, please just pause for a moment so we can all collectively, come together and check in. So on that piece of paper, before we chat out loud or over Messenger, on that piece of paper from earlier, thank you, Josiah. On your paper from earlier, write down the number from 1 to 10 of like absolute shit to okay. What number you feel at this moment, now that you've kind of given yourself the time and space to elaborate and to kind of begin the healing process. And it's okay if it doesn't change. It's okay if it went down. It's okay if it went up. Just do a mental check, do a self-check. What number are you at? So I would say I'm probably at about a 4.5 out of 10. And one word that I think would describe how I feel now is empathetic. So just like internally, this exercise and doing it and kind of really focusing your energy, what number are you at? What number have you gotten to? And then what word describes how you feel? So I started at 3.5 feeling restless, and now I'm at 4.5 feeling just incredibly empathetic. And that's my truth. So if you're interested in sharing yours, I'm all ears. So like I said, I want to give people the option to end this now-ish. So if you feel open to sharing with the group in the live chat, let us know what you did. What was the picture that you chose? And if you chose to do words, what did your heart look like? Did you do multiple hearts, colors? Just let us know. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but share. And I'll begin. So as you guys know, I did a black power fist. And then I did a gold heart because I really wanted it to like dazzle. And I did gone but never forgotten. I feel less alone, more connected for sure. I'm so glad to hear that, Josiah. That's like the exact purpose, is that I feel like these deaths can be so isolating and just make us feel so like hopeless and alone. And even if we do still feel hopeless, you know, at least we feel less alone, like knowing that we're going, like kind of starting to heal and grieve together. So I'm so glad to hear that, Josiah. So that's what I did. And inside, basically, once you're done with this, once you're happy with the outside, I have homework for you guys. And if you're ready to like kind of log off on that spare piece of paper, get ready to write down what the homework is. And homework is for yourself. Like, I'm not going to check in on you about this. This is for you to do. So basically, get ready to write this down. Even if you are still writing, working, maybe just grab a pen and paper just to write this down. So if you're new, thank you for joining us for the first time. If you've attended, I guess that's the word, a live of mine before, you may know that I always give 3 songs at least for homework. So your sweet child matters to me. Oh, that's a great line to put, Julie. Your loss breaks my heart, sending love, tenderness, and strength. That's beautiful, Julie. I'm well put, well said. Thank you for sharing. So I usually have for homework at least 3 songs. I have 3 songs for you guys to listen to today. So basically, after you're done with this, what I want you to do, ideally right after, but it is nighttime. So if you want to sleep on it and kind of address this tomorrow, I feel you and go for it. But the homework is to listen to these 3 songs, and when you listen to them, to give them your full attention. Don't listen to them while you're driving. Don't listen to them while you're like answering a bunch of texts or emailing. Like, just actually kind of like meditate to the song almost. Just really hear it. So that's a heartful message. Anyone would be, yes, I agree, Josiah. Anyone would be appreciative to hear that. So the 3 songs, pen and paper. The first song, and the order does matter, so these are the order. So the first song I want you guys to listen to is Baby Boy by Childish Gambino. Sometimes I do repeat the songs for these events. I mean, I haven't done one of these in months, but sorry if this is a repetitive one for you. This just feels really fitting for me. So the first song I want you guys to listen to for homework is Baby Boy by Childish Gambino. The next song I want you guys to listen to is Perfect Way to Die by Alicia Keys. That's Perfect Way to Die by Alicia Keys. And I also am writing these down right now, which I don't know why I'm doing because I have it written down, but I'm doing it. And the third and final song for you guys to listen to is Be Free by J. Cole. So what you're going to do is you're going to listen to those 3 songs. After you've listened to them, I want you guys to go back into this card and to write a letter or message. You know, it could be a bunch of paragraphs, it could be just a few sentences, but write a message to the parents of Quawan Charles. Whether you direct this message to his father specifically or his mother specifically, or the 2 of them collectively, is up to you. If you would rather write this to Quawan directly, that is your choice. But I want you guys to write a message or a letter of sorts inside of your card, as if you're mailing this card out. So to reiterate for homework, listen to Baby Boy by Childish Gambino, Perfect Way to Die, and by Alicia Keys, and Be Free by J. Cole. And I say homework, but it's not homework. It's more so just like to complete this ritual or experience or event or therapeutic art activity, however you want to say it. So you're going to listen to those 3 songs and then write inside of here. I don't know if his family wants to receive cards from strangers. I will look that up and see if there's any information on that. If they do, because everyone grieves differently, and some people it's like, you don't even know my son, don't contact me, I'm grieving. Other people just want any and all love and support they can get. So I'll try to find that out, and if they are accepting artwork and cards, you know, I'll let you guys know, and we could ship it to them hypothetically, or you can just keep this for yourself because, like I said, this is for yourself. So it's really up to you if you actually want to proceed with like shipping this to them. I can see if it's appropriate or not. And if you just want to keep it as a way in your room to see and remember and take a moment to attribute to Quawan every day, you could do that too. So I'm going to write the homework in the message board just for anyone. And as you guys finish out, let me know if you find this useful, basically any thoughts that you have, and I'm just going to reiterate the final steps. So let me just write that for you guys. Ooh, my keyboard's acting kind of funky. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's first baby boy, and I'm sorry that the computer is just bound to move while I do this, by Childish Gambino. Second is Perfect Way to Die by Alicia Keys. Third is Be Free by J. Cole. I find basically all forms of art very relaxing and calming and therapeutic. So for me, music therapy, not creating it, but just listening really helps me a lot. So you're gonna listen to those 3 songs, and then right inside your card, message to Quawan's parents or family. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna stay on while I write my message. I listened to those songs in that order about 4 times prior to this, at least. So I'm going to listen to them once again after I finish writing the card. If it feels better for your schedule or just your mind to write the card first and then listen to those songs, do it that way. If it feels better for you to listen to the music and then write, do it that way. It's pretty up to you. But as you guys finish, please write some of your closing thoughts in the live chat, and share. If you're not comfortable sharing in the live chat, please take a picture and send me what yours looks like, or just message me privately about this experience. I'm just always curious if it resonates with other people. So I'm just going to write my card now, and I would play the music for you guys, but like I said, I want you to listen to it when you're fully only paying attention to the song lyrics. So I'm going to write my card now. I'm going to write mine to Quawan's mother specifically. I just feel compelled to do that. And like I said, I'll try to find out information on if they're looking for cards or not, and if shipping this or sending this to them is something that would help or hurt. And if it is something that would help, and you did this exercise with me, just please message me after, and I will keep you in the loop. So without further ado, I'm just going to start writing. When I write cards or letters to people, I usually don't have anything premeditated. I just go for it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And I'll touch base with you guys after. And feel free to message whenever you finish up, or if you have anything to say. And just to reiterate one more time, thank you, Yana, so tender. Oh, thank you. My soul needed the unrestricted expression, so thank you. So happy to hear that. I'm really happy it resonated with you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I can't express enough how much your presence helps me as well. So thank you. And to reiterate one more time, Quawan's father is named Kenneth. That's 2 N's. And his mother is Roxanne with 2 N's, in case you're writing directly to them, like I started mine, Dear Roxanne. Thank you, Julie. Sending love. Thank you for joining and for literally teaching me how to do this stuff. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Julie, for those of you that frequent my YouTube channel, she Julie's farm is where I and her started this Black Lives Matter garden. So kind of in the midst of everything going on, she recommended it and we went over and just started a garden. I have YouTube videos of it, and she added a plant on Tuesday, which is actually way more symbolic than I realized because Tuesday is the day after, Quawan's parents found out. So thank you for being you, Julie, and thank you for tuning in. Okay, so Nathan, there's mixed signs about if he drowned or if it was a lynching. By the way that his body appeared, they looks like he was beaten significantly in his head, so it looks like he could have possibly been lynched and then thrown into water. They are working on an autopsy. They were looking for funding and then got funding from their GoFundMe. So I'm hoping to hear results from the autopsy soon, as I'm sure they are. And as those come out, if you we'll see what happens. But it looks to be a lynching. His family confirmed, and the autopsy will tell the answers, I suppose. But regardless, he was beaten down and murdered brutally. That's basically all that can be concretely confirmed, but it does look to be a lynching, and there is suspect of water play involved. And I'm gonna go. I look at the chat a little bit, but I'm gonna continue writing my card as I hope you all are. Was there current in the river? You're asking questions that even his parents, I don't think, know the answer to. So the thing is that police didn't do like a thorough report, and that's why they're like waiting for an autopsy now for more results. But they didn't even tell him. I mean, the police didn't even tell the parents where he was found, and they won't tell them apparently, which doesn't feel right at all. So many questions that are left unanswered. And if you're interested in more concrete answers, definitely look up some articles. I'm so sorry that I forgot to mention this earlier when I gave you guys the homework, But also to add to that, if you could sign any petitions, which I plan to do after this ends as well. We're going to plan to end this live at 11 p.m. I'm going to continue writing my card, and you guys can continue writing any closing thoughts that you have or anything you want to share. Okay, so I wrote most of my card, and I hope you guys did too. I hope you're really getting to the finishing stages. I just wanted to show you like that I wrote in it before I finish it off, because I'm adding my phone number just in case like I actually do send this and for whatever reason she doesn't, his mother doesn't have like a good support circle and wants to talk to someone. You never know who needs an extra person to talk to, so just in case. But yeah, as we close this out, I would love to hear any responses you guys have, anything you want to share, and we'll be finishing in a few minutes. Okay, so I just finished writing my card. This is the front of it. Make sure you guys added a heart, send them some love. And that's pretty much it. So what we have left to do, to reiterate one last time, is to listen to the 3 songs. They're in the live chat. It's Baby Boy by Childish Gambino, Perfect Way to Die by Alicia Keys, and Be Free by J. Cole. Listen to those 3 songs, really hear them, and allow yourself to fully experience them. Finish out your card with what you would write in the inside to, if you were giving this card to one or both of Quawan, Bobby Charles' parents. Like I said, I'll see if they are looking to receive cards at this time. And if I find a concrete yes answer on that, I'll let you know. Just if you did this exercise, please send me a picture of the outside of your card, as I would love to see it. And thank you. Just really thank you for being present and being here and allowing yourself to release some of that energy, or even just to acknowledge and put a better word and just fully experience the energy and the emotions and everything that you're feeling. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I have some other videos like this in the past. I've done this in the past. I'm willing to do it in the future. If you guys ever feel like you need something like this, just let me know. And don't be a stranger. Feel free to reach out if you ever want to talk to someone, or if you feel really down about things. I do have an Indigo Angel card deck, which are my oracle cards that the yoga preacher, she was in here earlier, I don't know if she's still here, gave me. So if you did this exercise and you want me to pull a card for you, just message me on Instagram, or, you know, if you only found me through YouTube, comment on the video. We'll work it out. I'd love to pull a card for you if you know, would benefit from that. So thank you guys again for attending and for creating for change and for just regulating your emotions and just for being present and being here. And I really do hope that you guys go through with listening to those songs, writing inside the card, and then also signing petitions and helping any way you can. Thank you, Josiah. Thank you for joining. Thank all of you guys for joining, and I hope that it was beneficial. Don't forget to comment on this video and like it, as it does help me a little bit. But yeah, just to reiterate one more time, my name is Yana Marie, and thank you guys. So, Quawan Bobby Charles, you are gone but never forgotten, and I commit to fighting for your family to seek some form of justice. So again, don't be a stranger. Reach out if you want me to pull a card for you. And thanks again. I hope the rest of your creating and night goes well. Sending love and peace to all of you.